Hello, I'm Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Got Louis Violette, or Violet, or however you pronounce his name, the purple guy, you know. He is the commander I am using on the new Tier 7 French destroyer, Le Fantasque. Le Fantasque, I believe it's pronounced. Hopefully, I don't know. You can see that I don't have the ship fully upgraded. I am missing a mod in the 4th slot, probably going to use the mod that extends the gun range, or the torpedo reload mod, and I don't have the hull upgrade. Other than that, the ship is going to perform as it would if it were almost fully upgraded, minus those two things. So let's run down the stats as I usually do, and then we'll call some shots in this gameplay because some interesting stuff does happen. So right now the ship has 15,400 hit points. With the hull upgrade, it would get 18,500 hit points, making it pretty comparable to the Fletcher. It's got 5 139mm guns, second biggest guns at the tier behind the Z-23. They range out to 12 kilometers with the Violette build and the Epic Booster of Battle Propensity flag, which is pretty comparable to the Tashkent, only Le Fantasque has access to the mod that increases gun range, so the guns will probably outrange the Tashkent's guns. 6-second reload time on the guns, a little bit slow, but with the reload booster, it can achieve a reload speed of 3 seconds for a duration of 15 seconds, making it shoot almost as fast as the Fletcher, which I have shooting at 2.8 seconds on my build. Turrets traverse 180 degrees in 18 seconds, which is actually the slowest turret traverse speed across my builds. Tashkent beats it by 2 seconds. Still, not unmanageable. 2,000 max HE shell damage, 10% chance to start fire, which is excellent. The only ship that has a higher percent chance to start fire is the Z-23 with 12%, but keep in mind those guns are a lot bigger and reload more slowly. The Lightning actually has a 9% chance to start fire, so this thing beats that out too. 2,700 max AP shell damage, and the AP on this thing is quite effective. We're going to see that coming up in a second. We're also going to see what these guns can do when you activate the reload booster. There we're taking some shots at Le Terrible, and we've taken away almost half of his hit points. Unfortunately, he's going behind the island there, and there's a Fiji shooting at us, so we're going to have to disengage right now. No smoke, of course, on this thing, so getting behind concealment in the form of islands or running away with the speed is your only options for disengaging, so you do have to be careful. Launching torpedoes into that gap there, trying to catch the Fiji. We're not going to. We take a pot shot at Le Terrible real quick, and we're going to switch to the AP right now because the Fiji is going to be giving us broadside. We're going to see at a range of 5-ish kilometers. We are going to score a Citadel right there for quite a bit of damage. I've gotten some hits against lightly armored cruisers like Fiji's for, I think one of the hits I got was 2 or 3 Citadels for about 9k damage. These guns can absolutely demolish cruisers. You can use the reload booster if you're close enough to a broadside cruiser to pump AP into them and probably surprise the hell out of them, to be honest. Let's talk about torpedoes though, because this is where things get pretty crazy. Got 9 torpedoes in 3 triple launchers, 2 on either side of the ship that can only shoot off one side of the ship, and then 1 in the center which can shoot off either side of the ship. So you can launch 2 sets of torpedoes off one side, flip around all the way, launch the other set off of the other side. The torpedoes reload in 86 seconds, which is somewhat slow, but they do a maximum of 18,400 damage, which they're only beaten by the torpedoes on, of course, the Udachi and the Kagero in terms of max damage. They're also slightly less stealthy than Udachi and Kagero torpedoes with a sea detectability range of 1.8 kilometers. but they range out to 8.3 kilometers and go at 80 knots. They are essentially Udachi Screamer torpedoes on Le Fantasque. Speaking of torpedoes, here we're shooting at the Kagero. We launch torpedoes into that smoke screen. They hit that Fiji, they take him out, and then we hit the Kagero and take him out for a double strike. Pretty nice. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, the torpedoes on this thing, let's just say that Udachi torpedoes aren't the only ones you're going to have to look out for in Tier 7 anymore. Not when you've got 80-knot torpedoes coming out of this thing. They're just as hard to dodge as Udachi torpedoes, although they are a little bit more detectable. They don't hit quite as hard, but it's still going to be a bad day if you take one in a battleship. What did I miss? Maneuverability. So this ship is fast. The only other comparable Tier 7 destroyer to this ship is the Tashkent, and this is faster than the Tashkent. Got a 46.6 knot top speed with Violette and the Epic Booster flag. That's about 3 knots faster than the Tashkent. But Le Fantasque also gets that special French speed boost consumable, which increases the speed by 20%, allowing this thing to go at a speed of nearly 56 knots when the speed boost is active. I don't think there's anything in the game faster than that. Oh look, we're going to get one torpedo hit there on a Jean Bart. We do 11,000 damage and cause flooding, so that's quite nice. It's got a 690 meter turning circle, which is pretty middle of the pack, and a 5.7 second rudder shift time. With the hull upgrade, you're going to shave 1.4 seconds off of that. So by my calculations, it would be 4.3 seconds when fully upgraded with this build. Either way, it's a pretty slow rudder shift, but that's the trade-off for a speed build, and I quite like the Violette speed build on this, just as I like the Xarkun speed build for the Tashkent. Finally, 5.7 kilometer detectability by sea. Not particularly stealthy, and it's a lot worse if you don't have a high level bay, as I do. He's at level 14, and I think I got the concealment mod on here. So I would say that that's not a bad way to go, since these torpedoes range out to 8.3 kilometers and they're so fast. The more you can get a window for stealth firing these torpedoes, the better off you're going to be. And the way that I think I like to play these French destroyers is kind of a hybrid between a torpedo boat and a gunboat. I mean, it's got effective torpedoes and effective guns, so why not try to go for the best of both worlds and use both? Got a couple skills on Violette spec'd into torpedoes. I think the one in the first row increases their speed, so it's not an 80 knot base speed, but you can get it up to 80 knots with that skill in order to match the speed of those Udachi Screamer torps. As far as how this ship plays, if you are familiar with its predecessor, the Vacuum, or Vaquelin, however you say it, on the tech tree, quite a bit like that. Also quite a bit like Le Terrible. The only real difference is that these guns do seem to hit a little bit harder than Le Terribles, and the torpedoes are, of course, faster. There goes another ship to our torpedoes, the Leon, for the third kill of the game. We're up to 84,000 damage. This is not going to be a super high damage game, but I felt like it was a decently effective destroyer game. Notice, though, that I have not actually taken a capture circle. That is something that can be kind of dangerous to do in this thing, since it doesn't have a smoke screen. I think I alluded to this earlier. The only thing you can do is put yourself behind concealment, like an island, or run away as fast as possible in order to disengage. You definitely don't want to enter a cap circle with no friendly ships around you. If you spot an enemy destroyer in that cap circle and he's got friendly ships around him, even though you are quicker and can outrun probably every destroyer in the game, you're still probably going to die because you cannot conceal yourself with smoke. So you do want to be careful with taking capture circles. You can obviously do it. If you are going to do it, you want to probably try to plan an escape route in case you are spotted so that you can get away quickly and preserve your hit points. You're going to see what happens when your hit points aren't preserved here. Obviously, we're ahead on ships, although the enemy team is very much ahead on points thanks to their cap advantage. So winning the game is probably going to come down to taking out the rest of the enemy ships. Luckily for us, even though the enemy has all the advantages here in terms of points, and all they really have to do is play defensively and protect the caps that they have without losing any more ships, they are not going to do that. They are going to be pretty aggressive, and they're going to pay for it here. In any case, what do I think of Le Fantasque? I like it a lot. It does, with that reload booster, have the potential, I think, to, unseat the Fletcher, if you want to call the Fletcher the king of Tier 7 gunboat destroyers. It's a very effective gunboat, especially with the long range. And if you are going to use it as a gunboat against anything other than destroyers, then probably being at longer range is your best bet. If these guns can shoot out 12 kilometers and even further than that with the gun upgrade, then you can sort of play this thing as kind of a really tiny HE spamming light cruiser at longer ranges. Kite away from the enemy, dodge their shots, be a pesky thorn in their side, and you can have quite a bit of success that way. The 139mm guns don't seem to have much of a problem doing HE shell penetration damage on the superstructure of battleships, cruisers, etc. And like I said, the AP can be quite effective when you get broadside cruisers, probably at ranges that would surprise you, and of course into the superstructure of broadside battleships. So, all in all, I think this is a very powerful destroyer. I am glad that it is in the game. I've only played, I don't know how many games in it, probably a little bit more than 10 in order to get this sort of first impressions review out, but already I think I can say with confidence that it is my favorite French destroyer in the game, and I look forward to playing more games in it as time goes on. I've got another match that I thought about using for this video, but I think I will release that at a later time, maybe within the next couple of days, and we'll talk more about playing the ship in that one. In any case, this Jean Bart is going to die with all of my remaining teammates shooting at him. He's got no health. The Iowa there is going to take him out, and more significantly, the Udachi is still alive. There's a potential that he might be able to win on points, maybe not with the amount of time that's left, and not if the Iowa flips this cap. But the Udachi is not going to retreat in order to try to win on points. Instead, he gets himself spotted. We took away a lot of his hit points, so he's a one-shot kill for the Iowa. The game ends with our victory, and there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this look at Le Fantasque. If so, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already done that. Also, if you'd like to join my Discord server, you can find a link for that in the description. I try to be on there all the time so I can talk to you guys, which I do enjoy doing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.